we've got this war in the Middle East, right? And one of the bad actors in that war has its tender hooks into our university system to the tunes of, if they're giving $500 million to one university, you can presume they're giving billions to other universities in toto. So there was some good news this week, believe it or not, to change gears. We have Qatar, which is a terrorist-supporting country in the Middle East, has gobs of money that it spends freely here in the United States, especially among our colleges and universities, and to shore up its reputation and increase its power and influence. And it's more notoriously, its support for terrorism has been further exposed after October 7th, the massacre of Jews in Israel by Hamas, which Qatar is a key supporter of, and which the leaders, Qatar is where the leaders of Hamas, or many of them, live, and it's where their headquarters, practically speaking, is. And so Qatar is a bad actor. And we have exposed and had been in litigation with Texas A&M University on behalf of the Zachor Legal Institute for years. And we fought the Qatar Foundation, who intervened and tried to stop the release of records about their support for Texas A&M University. And as a result of Judicial Watch's disclosures or litigation, we won after years of fighting. Went up and down the Texas courts. It was a mighty complicated FOIA fight. We found that Qatar, which is this is what they were trying to hide from us, essentially gave Texas A&M nearly $500 million. Arguably, it looks like it was over 500. Yeah, it was 522. It was 520. Excuse me, been talking too much. $522 million. And Texas A&M in recent days just announced that they're shutting down their campus in Qatar. So Qatar has something called campus, what is it, Education City maybe. And they've got some universities over there, including Texas A&M. I wish I had the list of other universities that were over there, because they deserve to be pressured as well. So anyway, but Texas A&M shut it down, and I think it was like $75 million that they were spending over there. So this is a great victory, and this is what I said in our press release describing what Texas A&M had done. Texas A&M's decision to close its Qatar campus is a recognition of how reckless and dangerous it is for a taxpayer-funded university or institution to take money and partner with a known supporter of terrorism, especially now that terrorism has raised its ugly head so dramatically again in the Middle East. Texas A&M has more work to do to extract itself from Qatar's hooks, and Judicial Watch will continue to push for transparency on Qatar influence operations here in the United States. So the Texas A&M Board of Regents voted in February 8th, so it was just not too long ago, to cancel its contract with the Qatar Foundation for Education, Science, and Community Development, which funded the campus, ending the 20-year-old program. It will reportedly take 4 years finally to close out the program, so it's going to be a slow process. The records that we uncovered showed that over $522 million was given to Qatar to the state university from January 1st, 2023, and it be going back to 2018, excuse me. And most of that came from the Qatar Foundation, which is a front for the government. So we had this battle, I think, that began in 2019. So it took 5 years to get that key piece of information, because we're battling this foreign government, essentially, in Texas state courts. It's really quite incredible. Let's see, our friends at Zachor said something too. Mark Greendorfer, who is Zacor's president, great guy, smart guy. First, we wouldn't have been able to obtain this shocking information without the work of Judicial Watch. For small organizations like Zachor, partnering with Judicial Watch creates a veritable David standing against the Goliaths who otherwise shut down public scrutiny of their harmful alliances. Second, we also intend to continue our work combating terror and hate that is fed by the deep pockets of countries like Qatar. While our focus is on fighting anti-Semitism, this issue is one that affects every American, and we are grateful to have such a strong and effective partner. And you know, I like the David versus Goliath metaphor for Judicial Watch, but I tell you what, I kind of think that Judicial Watch is more like Goliath than we get credit for. It's Goliath versus Goliath. You know why? Because we have tens of millions of Americans who are desperate for our leadership and support our work. We are one of the most widely supported organizations in the country when it comes to combating government corruption and demanding accountability through these transparency laws that we litigate. So, you know, Judicial Watch is Goliath for justice. And I tell you, that's why we win so much in court in a surprising way, because, you know, we've got the support of the American people. And I tell you, you know, I guess going back to the David metaphor, if there's any sling that is going to take out those stone walls that prevent us from getting documents under law, it's the rule of law. It's the FOIA law. It's so powerful. And without it, Judicial Watch and the American people would be way behind the eight ball in terms of trying to obtain this information. So we've got this war in the Middle East, right? And one of the bad actors in that war has its tender hooks into our university system to the tunes of, if they're giving $500 million to one university, you can presume they're giving billions to other universities in toto. So we've got a lot more work to do, but a nice little victory. And Qatar, by the way, went crazy when Texas A&M pushed back on this or backed out of their little education city program out there, because they see this as a blow to their reputation, to try to, you know, launder their reputation that has been so harmed because they support terrorists. So great work by Judicial Watch. And you can see that your support for Judicial Watch, excuse me, I lost control of the chair there, that your support for Judicial Watch is has a real impact. We're not just taking on the U.S. government, we're taking on foreign governments in court. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.